The sun hung low in the sky, casting golden hues across a vast meadow that seemed to stretch endlessly. At its center stood a young man, his silhouette sharp against the light. In his hands, he held a sword, simple, unadorned, and well-worn. He stood motionless, listening to the rustling of leaves and the distant call of birds. But his calm demeanor belied the storm that brewed within him. Was this the life he had chosen, or the one forced upon him? Once he was an ordinary soul, overlooked and dismissed. A life of mediocrity was all anyone had ever expected of him, yet fate had other plans. One fateful encounter with a mysterious traveler had changed everything. The traveler, an enigmatic figure draped in tattered robes, had left behind a single scroll and cryptic words. Master this, and you will never fear the blade. What lay within that scroll would unravel the life he once knew. The technique was unlike anything he had ever imagined, a defensive art so intricate and precise that it promised invincibility. At first, he scoffed. How could parrying merely redirecting an opponent's strike hold such power? But as days turned to weeks and weeks to months, he realized its brilliance. This wasn't just about technique. It was about understanding, predicting, and mastering the flow of combat itself. Could such a skill truly shield him from the chaos of the world? The village where he lived, nestled on the edge of a dense forest, had always been quiet, but shadows had begun creeping in. Bandits and mercenaries roamed the outskirts, and rumors of greater dangers spread like wildfire. The villagers, once indifferent to his existence, now turned to him. His training was no longer a personal quest, but a shield for those who had none. Was this newfound role one he was prepared to embrace? I guess he's dead. One evening, as the sky burned crimson, the first test came. A band of marauders descended upon the village, their laughter echoing like thunder. They were armed, ruthless, and confident. The young man stepped forward, his sword in hand and his heart pounding in his chest. Could his training withstand the reality of combat? The first clash was electric. A blade swung towards him faster than he expected, but instinct took over. His sword met the attack, redirecting it effortlessly. The marauder's sneer turned to shock as strike after strike was deflected with precision. The air buzzed with tension, each parry a testament to the countless hours of practice. Yet with every deflection, a question loomed larger. Was his power enough to protect everyone he held dear? As the battle raged, he began to notice something peculiar. His movements weren't just defensive, they were transformative. Each parry turned his opponent's strength against them. The marauders, once so sure of their dominance, faltered. But with their defeat came an unsettling realization. The young man wasn't just fending off attackers, he was stepping into a role he never sought. A protector, a hero. Could he bear the weight of such expectations? Days after the attack, the village celebrated their safety, but he found no solace in their gratitude. The scroll's teachings had granted him unparalleled skill, but it also left him isolated. Who could understand the burden of always being relied upon? The forest, with its whispers and secrets, became his refuge. Beneath the canopy of ancient trees, he sought answers. Was he destined to fight forever? Or could he forge a different path? One day, a figure emerged from the shadows of the forest. It was a swordswoman, her presence commanding and her eyes sharp as steel. She had heard tales of his skill and sought him out, not for guidance, but for a duel. Her challenge was simple. If you've truly mastered the art, prove it. The village gathered, their faces a mix of anticipation and fear. Could he match someone who appeared as if she had stepped out of legend? The duel was unlike anything the villagers had ever witnessed. Her strikes were ferocious, each one a symphony of precision and power. Yet time and again his blade met hers, redirecting every assault. The crowd held its breath as the clash reached its crescendo. But amidst the flurry of steel, something unexpected happened. The swordswoman's expression shifted from determination to curiosity. "You're not attacking?" she remarked mid-battle. Why? Her question hung in the air, resonating deeper than the clash of their swords. Why indeed? Was it fear of causing harm, or was it something more profound? His hesitation, his reliance solely on defense, wasn't just a technique, it was a philosophy. To parry was to avoid violence, to find harmony amidst chaos. But could such an approach hold up in a world that thrived on conflict? The duel ended in a draw, neither combatant willing to land a decisive blow. The swordswoman left with a parting message. Your skill is remarkable, but the world won't always allow you to stand still. Remember that. Her words lingered, a reminder of challenges yet to come. As the seasons changed, so did the young man. The village's safety became his priority, but he couldn't shake the feeling that his journey was far from over. Whispers of greater threats reached his ears, a warlord amassing power, a kingdom on the brink of collapse. Could his parrying, his refusal to strike first, stand against the tides of war? One fateful night, under a moonlit sky, he stood at the edge of the forest, gazing into the unknown. The villagers watched silently, understanding that he might not return. Clutching his sword, he took a deep breath. Was he stepping into the jaws of danger, or was he finally embracing his destiny? The answer remained shrouded in uncertainty, but one thing was clear: the path ahead was his to forge. Ugh.